And we are
We are
live.
live.
We are live on the hardcover comic.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that may have been waiting for us to go live, I apologize ahead of time. I didn't realize that it threw that waiting on hardcover comic to start.
That's all right.
So duly noted for the future.
Yeah. But yeah, another night. This is gonna be I guess something we'll be doing more often, probably maybe weekly, at least a little bit. We'll have a little Dynamite talk.
Yes, for sure. A monthly. We're at least gonna
Yeah.
have a month. So our weekly live shows, and then we're gonna at least minimum do the top focus of the live show be Dynamite comics.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Vincent Faust and Dynamite have graciously sent us some reviews and things, and digitally,
Mhm.
but things that we're going to talk about. And I'm actually really excited about this. I've been dying all week to actually talk with you because we were messaging, and I was like, I think we should save this stuff for the live show. Like, I don't want to
Mhm.
discuss it. I think we should save it for the live show. So I'm
Yeah,
super jazzed to actually talk to you about this
me too.
and get the listeners' thoughts as well if any of them are reading this.
Yeah. It's been an interesting week, just sort of diving into this Dynamite stuff, because I mean, I don't think either you or I know you dabbled in some Dynamite, right? A little bit.
I did. Yep. I dabbled here and there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't a full blown dynamited. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I kind of dabbled here and there with some of like their IP and stuff that I liked, like
Mhm.
Army of Darkness and a little bit of Evil Ernie and kind of stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
We took a bit of a deep dive this week. I guess yeah. Let's start off with, because there were new releases this week. There was Deja Thor's #2. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. It's been a while since I've seen any John Carter movies or anything.
Yeah.
There's that. There was, of course, Red Sonja, Age of Chaos #1. And we'll and a few other titles. I guess we'll get into those. The first thing we should talk about, I think, though, is something you kept pestering me about. Fair enough. Fair enough that you did, because we as soon as we got it, we said we were going to read it. Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt.
Yes.
This is the oversized. There's an oversized hardcover for the 5 issues. Peter Gillen.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the cover price on that is $40 for the oversized hardcover.
Yeah.
But obviously you guys can get it cheaper elsewhere. Obviously you can get it undercover, but I believe cover price on that book was for 30 or 40.
Yeah. I believe that's right. I think 40. But yeah, Kieran Gillen writing it, which I was surprised I didn't. Again, Dynamite was a company I didn't always pay enough attention to, and I guess it's not a good thing. So I'm glad we finally get to dive into it. But yeah, Kieran Gillen writing it, and artwork by Casper Weingard, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Weingard,
something along those lines.
who's awesome. I had never seen his name beforehand, but dude's artwork is crisp.
So Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, it's a book that has actually a lot of history, which I was completely oblivious to and completely unaware of. I'm sure a lot of comic historians are probably shaking their fists and screaming at us right now, like that. How could you not know this? But he actually started off back in the day as one of the Charlton comic characters.
Yep.
That Alan Moore later took a handful of and made famous for the Watchmen. Because they kind of became what's the word I'm looking for? Free range. They became
Public domain.
Public domain. That's it. I couldn't think what the hell I was trying to say. Yeah, they became public domain. A lot of the old Charlton comic characters did. And so Peter Cannon got a reboot in 2008. Is that when Alex Ross?
Yep.
Alex Ross kind of brought him into Dynamite at that point, and they kind of did like this rebooted thing. And then fast forward to 2019, and Kieran Gillen came back and really kind of brought him back into full force, and it got a lot of rave reviews, and so we were like, we need to check this out and see what it's kind of all about.
It's a cool idea, like sort of revisiting the Golden Age characters. I think
Very cool.
One of the first ones that I experienced for a character I hadn't heard about before was it was Airboy, right? Was that the name of the series?
Airboy. James Robinson brought it back.
Yeah, and I mean that
was great.
You got to check. If you haven't read Airboy, you got to go read that. It's fantastic.
It's like 5 issues, maybe 6. I think it's 5, but it is some of the most. It's very adult, definitely not meant for children. Maybe the old Airboy is, but not the James Robinson Airboy. It is definitely meant for adults. He took a completely different turn with it, but it's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's deep. I enjoyed the hell out of it, honestly. I thought Airboy was fantastic.
Yeah, no, for sure. Me too. It was. I mean, if you're going to revitalize a character that's been gone for a long time, that's the way to do it. So, I guess. I don't. Have you looked into the Project Superpowers stuff? I guess they sort of touched upon it a bit in Black Terror, which we'll get to later. But all these characters and the way they sort of got brought back. I haven't read Project Superpowers, but I guess it has to do with that urn, right? That was mentioned in.
That's the vibe that I got.
Right.
But unfortunately, I don't know enough about the history, so I will say that it'll probably help, even if you just wikied a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff I didn't know going into it, that these were sort of those Golden Age type characters and things. I had no idea going into it. So it was definitely my bad. I should have known a little bit more going into it, because I was definitely confused, and then I ended up having to go back and research and go, oh, okay, now that all makes sense.
Right. Yeah, but so Peter Cannon starts off with like this alien invasion's happening, and great artwork by Casper Weingard, and then you get like introduced to basically this team of characters that's talking to Peter, and it just like you just dive into it, which I really liked it. I kind of like now the sort of unfamiliarity and that sort of exploration in a comic universe, which is probably why both of us are enjoying Dynamite so much, because it's something we don't have any knowledge on really. And I think both of us enjoy that. I know a lot of people get a little scared by that, but I've been enjoying it. Like, you get introduced to these 4 characters right off the bat. There's like one dude who looks like a ladybug. There's a Wade Wilson looking kind of guy. There's someone in a hazmat suit. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Like right from the get-go.
Yeah, there's zero backstory. It's just go. Yeah. No origins, which is, like you said, is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool. I like getting to know these guys. The Test is probably my favorite of that group of characters, who is the Wade Wilson looking type character. There's this chick named Baba Yaga. There's the ladybug looking guys, Pyrophorus, something like that. Sure. You got Supreme Justice. It was just Captain America pretty much. and then I forget what the character's name is that is in that hazmat suit, but yeah, that's pretty much how it starts off. And I was confused as hell, I must say, but I refused to do any background research because I knew you had done a little bit, and you told me it was an old Golden Age character, and I was like, I wonder if I could read this whole storyline, would not knowing anything about the history affect the experience. And for the most part, I'd say it didn't.
It's definitely a unique experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It definitely, it's not your standard comic read. It's very, very different. And especially without not having any knowledge of who the characters are or any sort of backstory or origin on any of these characters, it was interesting. I don't know, man. So what were I don't want to spoil anything, because obviously, ideally, we want people to go out and check it out for themselves. And we really want people to kind of, pick up the hardcover, pick up the trades, whatever it may be. So without spoiling, What were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it a lot. I did not expect it to go where it went. I did not expect the kind of storytelling that we did get in the storyline, which I'm sure we'll dive into in a little more detail. And you know, it's weird because again, I don't know anything about Peter Cannon, and so you start getting sort of a general idea of what his powers are, but I felt like the way his powers are explained is still relatively ambiguous, which I'm fine with. He's pretty much they've got these scrolls. It runs in the family, and they just become like the perfect focused human. Pretty much something along those lines. I'm probably missing some details, but I liked sort of that discovery along the way of finding out who Peter Cannon is and who all these other characters are and all that fun stuff. But I enjoyed it. I definitely would have helped to have known some background information on the characters, but this way it sort of felt it's a unique experience because with most DC comics and Marvel comics, something about the characters from movies or from TV shows or from gatherings, whatever conversations at gatherings, and so something, so you have a little bit of you have an understanding of the character and your own definition of the character going into it. So going into this brand new, just sort of getting to explore what Kieran Gillen throws at me. I enjoyed it a lot. It gets so crazy.
Yes,
I
it
think
definitely does.
I think you mentioned something you said it was like sort of like a Watchmen of the Dynamite universe, something like, or it's something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
Which
I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was interesting. There was some dimension hopping. I really, really, really like the way that they jump dimensions. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was really unique. I really liked it a lot, and because of it, it made me go back and explore who are these characters, what is their backstories, and that stuff. And it gave me a new appreciation. And I kind of want to go back to that whole Alex Ross Project Superpowers thing from 2008 and check out that now. And that's something that I never would have even known about if it wasn't for the fact that Vincent sent us Peter Cannon. So in doing that, I'm like, oh well, now I gotta go back and it's just opened up this whole new door. It just kicked in this door and just opened up this brand new world to us that I wasn't aware existed before, and it's amazing. It's not a horrible thing by any stretch of the imagination. It's really, really cool. But now there is a part of me that's like, crap, I don't have time to read the comics I have, let alone this whole new universe. I know, man. Like this is crazy, but it's a lot of fun.
But that's why it's great that something like this, Peter Cannon's 5 issues, you get to read it, you get to know the character, you get a story out of it. And yeah, the way they jump dimensions, just in general, who the villain is and how that's handled, I thought was pretty sweet as well. Very different, and obviously it's using the genre as a story, a storytelling method as well, a tool. It was cool. Yeah. And like you said, it was very interesting. And then you start looking at other titles and what else they've got going on. I guess, we can sort of segue into Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, where you sort of get introduced to chaos and you're like, well, damn it. Now there's this amazing concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, #1, written by Eric Burnham.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall who the artist is. I don't have it in front of me. I don't know if Mike has that readily available or not. The reason why I know Eric Burnham right away is because I'm a big Eric Burnham fan. He's primarily known for doing a lot of the Ghostbuster stuff for IDW. He also did a little bit of TMNT stuff. And he's just amazing. The most recent, actually, Ghostbusters Year One is also out, and that's the most recent stuff that he's been doing. But also he's doing this Red Sonja, Age of Chaos. So when I saw that Eric Burnham was writing, I was so jazzed. I was like, I'm not a huge Red Sonja fan. It's not that I am anything against it. It's just never something that like made me go, oh, I want to read this. I've just never been into that whole kind of thing. But when I saw Eric Burnham was writing, I was like, all right, I'm going to check this out. And then you told me, because I think you read it first, and you had said it sort of had a JLD feel to it, Justice League Dark. And I went, oh, that's right up my alley. All right, cool. So I read it, and I am in freaking love with it. I really can't wait to see more of what comes of that. Apparently, we think that it's going to lead into, because Eric Burnham's going to be writing a new Chaos book for Dynamite Comics, which is going to be coming up in the next couple months. And so we think that this is going to ultimately lead into Eric Burnham's Chaos book that he's going to be doing.
Yeah. Trying to.
Do you want me to add your screen here?
I don't know if it's showing anything though. Trying to get it to show.
It is blank. Let me know once it pops up and we can add it in.
Sure.
But yeah, no, it's so good. So good. For those that don't know, Chaos is it's basically the JLD of the Dynamite universe. You got Evil Ernie, you've got, God, I'm so new to this. I don't remember all their names. Sakara, was that her name?
Sakara, yep. AKA Purgatory.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Mistress Hell's pretty much gathering the team together. There's a chick named Jade in it who is a vampire. And then I think that was it for now anyway. And then of course Red Sonja's in there too. Oh, there's a female named Chastity who looked a lot like Punk Mambo.
Yes, I saw that and I go, that's Punk Mambo. I go, what is happening here? That is totally Punk Mambo. The mohawk, long strips of hair on the side. I go, I get that that's like a look that people do. I go, but that is totally Punk Mambo.
Yeah, and she's like a half vampire, half human monster assassin type character. And then there was that was her name. Sorry, I'm flipping through the issue now. Bad Kitty, who was that sniper. So basically, the first issue, they're gathered to there's this amulet that Red Sonja basically removed from a villain centuries ago, and it's shown up in a museum now, and Mistress Hell saying, hey guys, you guys got to go get this talisman for me. And something happens to the talisman, and then it seems like there's a little time travel happening based on my understanding of the last couple pages. I think I'm right. I don't know though. I would think so, because Chastity shows up on the last page. And anyway, it was a lot of fun, man. I did not expect to have so much fun. Evil Ernie was a great balance of that comedy, talking to his button, his pin,
Smiley.
Yeah, Smiley. And I had a great time. The artwork was exciting. As a gentleman named Jonathan Lau who did the artwork. And of course, like we said, there's all these new characters we know little to nothing about, maybe except for Evil Ernie. But man, it's going to be fun to see how these characters interact and what happens moving forward. Yeah,
it's definitely like a misfit kind of, like the way that it was written was sort of like none of these people really seem to know who each other were. Maybe they've heard of each other, past each other in crossing type thing, but like they were definitely not a team leading up to this. This is something where they're all kind of sort of just getting thrown in together, and
right.
But God, is it fun!
So
the art was killer. The backgrounds in the art were amazing. There's a lot of detail. It looked really, really good. And the story is fun. It actually made me be like, maybe am I missing out on Red Sonja for not reading Red Sonja? Like, I'm not. It's never, like I said before, it's never been a book where I'm like, ooh, Red Sonja.
Yeah.
So it made me think that, like, well, shit, I think I need to go back and read Red Sonja. And then just real quick, Tom the Fish just jumped in and said that Red Sonja 2005 is actually an amazing run. So
I wonder if that's the Gail Simone stuff.
Oh, that's very possible. Which Gail Simone's Red Sonja Omnibus actually just did come out.
October.
October, yeah. So that is very freshly newly available for people that aren't very familiar with Dynamite as well.
Yep, that's exciting. I do. Hopefully, I plan on checking that out. Hopefully, it'd be nice to have an oversized Dynamite hardcover.
Yes. So now I'm currently, because of this and everything, I'm actually currently going back and reading the old Chaos books from a few years back and checking those out. And they're fun. I'm on volume 1 right now. I'm probably halfway through it, and it's a fun ride. I definitely think so far is I definitely believe that what's going on currently in Age of Chaos is a lot more fun than what happened before with Chaos. So I'm really interested. But then again, I'm a big Eric Burnham fan, so maybe that has something to do with it. But it is fun, though. I am enjoying discovering these kind of characters and seeing what they're all about and learning more about their backgrounds. Because, like I said, this is a universe that I have never really been familiar with, and I'm kind of ashamed to say it. I mean, granted, Dynamite's a newer company. They've been around about 15-ish years or so, but still, yeah. Tom the Fish says that 2005 isn't the Gail Simone stuff. It's the stuff right before the Gail Simone stuff.
Sweet.
And that much of the 2005 run is at a print, but it's not too terribly expensive. You can pick most of it up at cover price.
Sweet.
So,
yeah, I mean, I know Dynamite has some pretty nice soft cover omnibuses as well. They like to.
I actually have 3 of them.
Nice.
2 of them, 3 of them, 2 of them. Sorry, I have 2. I have the Army of Darkness Volume 1 and 2.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, I'm shocked. I was, and I kept looking through Dynamite stuff. I saw that Christopher Priest was doing Vampirella, so I checked out a few.
Yes.
Of that. Who else? I think. Yeah, I mean,
you were telling me that I need to read. I haven't got a chance to read it yet. I've been very, very busy. But you told me I need to read Betty Page. You and your fiance have been reading some of the more. Well, fuck it. We'll just announce it. You want to talk about it? It's your episode, your bit that you guys are gonna do.
Sure. Yeah. No. I'm. So me and my fiance she's slowly, dipping her toe in the comic pond. She's been pretty much keeping up with Catwoman since the Joelle Jones run started. So she's like 20 issues in at this point. She's read stuff like, Joker Killer Smile, Harleen as well. That was the recent 3-issue DC Black Label. So she's trying things out. She's getting a feel for it. And so I said, screw it. We've got these like, Red Sonja, Vampirella, Meet Betty and Veronica. I mean, I'll read it if I have to. If I don't have anything else to read, I'll read it. But it'd be nice, I think, to maybe even read it with her, put it up on the projector, and browse through it together and sort of do our own videos. And man, we've been reading this Betty Page Unbound series. I'm like 7 issues in. I don't know how far my fiance Natalie's gotten, but it's not what I was expecting at all. I was like, issue 10 drops next Wednesday. What are 10 issues of Betty Page? I mean, what is that? What is going on? And it turns out she's running from like the Elder Gods, Cthulhu, and Yog Sothoth, and she's jumping dimensions. She works for some like secret agency. I'm like, this is crazy. I never expected this. And so like the first 5 issues, she's jumping from one dimension, I guess, in the Dynamite universe. It's not exactly the same. So she'll jump into she's wearing the same outfit as Red Sonja, but it's not the exact same world that Red Sonja's in, like the places are different. And then like she'll go into like the Deja Thor's universe, but it's not Barsoom anymore. It's like, it's called Barzan or something. Like there's slight differences, but the general theme is like, okay, she's clearly in the Vampirella universe in this issue. And it's interesting because she deals with things very differently than obviously those characters would, but she's sort of she's got their powers. And again, she's running from like Cthulhu. It's just crazy. I had no idea what would be happening. The last issue I read actually finished that arc off, so I'm interested to see what the next arc will be, because at this point I have no idea what to expect. It's clearly not your typical Betty Page. She's not just doing lingerie modeling,
Yeah, and the covers apparently are very deceiving, because I was at a local shop, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I was just browsing some time, and they had tons of Dynamite stuff, kind of like bundled, like whole series or whatever, what's currently been released, kind of all bundled up. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I was like flipping through stuff, and I saw these Betty Page ones. So I took a picture of him. I sent it to Mike. I go, "Is this the Betty Page that you told me I need to read?" And he goes, "Yep, but the covers are very deceiving."
Yeah.
Because the covers were like, one was actually like a photo of Betty Page from like a model shoot, and then like another one was something similar. It was like drawn, but it was sort of like a pinup type thing. It wasn't. It didn't have anything to do apparently with the story whatsoever. So he's like, "Oh, the covers are very deceiving."
Yeah, it's been interesting. I haven't tried the Red Sonja and Vampirella meets Betty and Veronica yet.
I did read one of the issues. I don't remember how many are out, but I did read one.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, especially if it's something that you're gonna do to make videos with Natalie. I think you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been different, which I think is what's been the most fun about it. Stepping outside the box, you know.
So I haven't gotten a chance really to read the Deja Thoris stuff yet. I know there's like 2 issues out, I believe.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it? Have you had a chance to read it? It's written by Dan Abnett.
Yep.
I knew that, but I haven't really. I flipped through it at my local shop. I was kind of thumbing through it and checking it out, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
Yeah, I read the I mean, we can't really talk about the second issue yet, so because that drops on Wednesday. Oh no, that yeah,
I think it dropped.
It dropped already.
I saw it at you're good. I saw it at the shop. You're good.
That's right. I'm getting my weeks messed up, but it's the same thing as Peter Cannon, but I feel like it needs a few more issues before I know what is going on in the universe. I don't have enough background info. I was never a huge John Carter fan. I didn't read like the older stuff. I mean, you know, I know that they live on the place they live in is called Barsoom. And she's lost her title basically as princess. So she's no longer royalty. There's a different guy in charge, and I think the guys in charge are called Jedax. Again, there are probably people who are just wondering what the hell we've been doing, what rock we've been hiding under. But there's a lot going on in the general plot's great, but I feel like I'm definitely missing a lot of background info. I don't know any of the characters, obviously, so I'm getting involved with that. But I'm excited to figure all that stuff out for sure. The plot is interesting enough that I do want to figure out what's going on, because they are on a quest and there is stuff happening, but it's just been 2 issues. It's so soon to tell, and my biggest complaint right now is just that I'm not informed enough. I'm ignorant of what's happening.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So then let's dive into one that I'm really enjoying.
Okay.
Black Terror.
Oh yeah.
Max Bemis is Bemis is writing Black Terror, who, shockingly enough, come to find out, was another Golden Age character. Not Charlton Comics. I can't remember the name of that one that he was with. But anyway, he was a Golden Age character who was also kind of brought back in the 2008 thing that Alex Ross did. And now Max is bringing him into the fold all again. There's currently 4 issues out on that. The 4th issue just dropped.
Yep.
And you were even saying you noticed that like over the years, Black Terror's actually kind of made some appearances in like some other books.
Yeah. I mean, he showed up in Image Comics by something Mike Allred did. It was called the Next Issue Project. Nothing crazy. He showed up in I think it was him who showed up. Yeah, he showed up in Alan Moore's Tom Strong. He was part of that series, just in that universe. But yeah, he started in let's see here, Needor Comics, Netter Comics, and EDOR Comics. So I mean, he's been all over the place. And I think there was another character I was looking at. I think Peter Cannon was actually in the DC universe at one point too. While we were speaking about him, yeah, he showed up in DC Comics for he was on, I believe, Crisis of Infinite Earths. He was one of the characters fighting against the Anti-Monitor. Yeah, and then there was actually a Peter Cannon Thunderbolt series that ran for 12 issues from 92 to 93. So I mean, he was, not 20 years ago, 27 years ago, he was at DC. So I mean,
He's getting around.
He's been around, yeah.
That little comic horror.
Which makes sense because DC did absorb quite a few of the Charlton Comics characters. Not all of them made it, I guess. Blue Beetle did, though. But yeah, I mean,
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, man, Black Terror, Bemis. I forget. I'm trying to see who the artists are here real quick because I think it's been 2 artists so far.
Yeah, the only reason why I remember Max is because I really enjoyed Max's run on Moon Knight.
Yeah.
He wrote the legacy issues for Marvel's Moon Knight back in, what was that, 2018? That he wrote that, and I thoroughly enjoyed those issues. He did an excellent job channeling Spectre's sort of insanity and things, and I really enjoyed that. It was a good follow-up to what Lemire did for the character. Yep. So when I saw he was writing Black Terror, I went, oh, all right, well, this is cool. Like, let's check this out. And I read issue 1 and loved it. Yeah. Really, really loved issue 1. I was like, oh, this book is going to be awesome. Read issue 2 and went, what the hell's going on? It had nothing to do with anything that happened in issue 1. Then I read issue 3, same sort of thing. I'm like, so issue 2 was, I don't even know, Black Terror was barely in issue 2 at all. It was mainly about like a woman and her relationship with her husband. And then
was that issue that's
did right. I get it mixed up?
Well, no, issue 2 was
Kid Terror.
That was issue 3. Yeah, issue 2 was where there's like a cult happening and this guy's like, oh, I'm channeling my power. So issue 1 was where they show him in the pharmacy.
Yes. So issue 2 is the one with the woman and her husband. Her husband, this isn't a spoiler, her husband was cheating on her, and so then she got involved with this cult.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyways, that's not really spoiling anything. But then I'm kind of like, and Black Terror he's just sort of like a sub character in that, focal point in that issue. And then issue 3, it was mainly focusing on his sidekick. And then I was like, okay. And at that point I'm going, is this an anthology series? Because like none of these issues have anything to do with one another. And then I read issue 4 and I was like, this has got to be an anthology series. I messaged Mike. I'm like, have you read it yet? And he did. When he messaged me, he goes, yep, that's definitely an anthology series.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be.
It's almost, I don't know, Twilight Zone-ish, I guess. Where it kind of maybe has, I don't want to say it has the same feel as Ice Cream Man because it doesn't. It's still very different, but at the same time, it's Black Terror is sort of the main focal point in each story, I guess you could say. And like each story has to be based, each story is about different people or different things that are happening. But Black Terror is sort of the focal point that ties it all together, I guess.
Yeah.
So I really loved again. I don't want to spoil anything, especially because it just dropped on Wednesday. But it's really trippy. I'll just leave it at that. It definitely, issue 4 definitely made me feel like, I don't know. Did you get like a Grant Morrison vibe in issue 4?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Like Max was channeling his inner Grant Morrison.
Yeah. He's like, what would Grant Morrison write about at 2 a.m. on a? That's
basically what it felt like. I mean, it didn't. I wouldn't say it was Grant Morrison-esque, but it definitely felt like someone was channeling their inner Grant Morrison. And it worked. It was really good. I loved it. I thought it was great. It actually had some emotional impact too. Yeah. Like it hit the feels, man, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Black Terror is definitely gonna be a book I continue to pick up. The covers too. Some of those covers are insane. There was, I think it was issue 4, and I think it was actually the main cover for issue 4. But like he's like in the water and it's like up to his chest, and you see the reflection of the skull under the water. Oh my god, I love that cover.
Yeah, that's that one's by a guy named or a lady named Raza.
Yes,
Raza.
I love that cover.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, that cover is so awesome.
And yeah, most of issue 4, when it started off, I was like, is this one of those what are they called? silent issues, but I guess there were sound
Yes,
effects and all that. But I mean, it's a good
I thought
chunk
it
of
was a
pages.
silent issue.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, the artwork's great. The artists do change within the 4 issues, but the style is consistent, so you can, I mean, barely tell. Yeah, I mean, issue 3 is the one with his sidekick, whose name I forget right now.
I think it's Kid Terror or something
Kid
like that.
Terror, and it's hilarious
I,
because he runs into a group of kid villains, and there's one of the kid villains is Kid Tricklin. That's his name, and his power is wields poison pea. Smells weird. It's fantastic.
I forgot about that.
It's
Yeah, well,
so
the
funny.
fun. So they actually explain it, and it's not really too much of a spoiler. But in issue 3, his sidekick. So due to they weren't born with powers; they were given powers. A la like Captain America style, like injected with stuff, and they gave him these powers or whatever. And the side effect is that they stop aging. And so this like this little kid, he's now like stuck in the body of like a 12-year-old, but he's like first he says he was 70 because like he came back in time or something like that, and then he like had to de-age all over again. So but then he gets stuck in the body of like a 13-year-old, but he's like the mentality of like a 40-year-old, and it's so funny to like watch him. And it reminded me almost of I Hate Fairyland with Gerda, where like she's stuck in like this 8-year-old body, but she has like the mentality of like a 40-year-old.
Yeah,
so it was really funny. I enjoyed it a lot. Man, Dynamite is killing it though. Like, I'm so incredibly glad, and I hope that Vincent sees this, because I am so incredibly thankful for Vincent to want to kind of partner up with us and allow us to review stuff for him and check out these titles, because these are books I never would have. Maybe the Eric Burnham stuff, when I saw on Twitter like, oh, he's writing this, maybe I would have, but like aside from that, I probably wouldn't have ever picked any of these books up and gave him a chance. It never would have came my way. I never would have known about it. But man, am I glad that I did. This is so much fun.
Yeah. I think next on my list for going back into the archives, I might check out, just out of curiosity, to see what's going on, Alice Cooper versus Chaos. Yes. I do want to know what they're doing with Cooper in the Dynamite universe.
There's a lot of like cool Chaos stuff that's going on, and I definitely want to go back and read more Evil Ernie, which I know he wasn't always with Dynamite. Evil Ernie was originally with Chaos Comics and whatever. So like I get it, but I definitely want to go back and read some more Evil Ernie, because I love him and Smiley. It's really cool. They're a really cool character. It's funny, his name's Evil Ernie. He is sort of like this demonic being, but at the same time, he only kills bad guys. Like he only kills sinners. And so to like watch or read or whatever the banter between him and Smiley, it's great. It's so much fun. Tim Seeley actually wrote the Chaos trade that I'm reading right now currently. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But I definitely want to check out this. I definitely think I need to check out some more Red Sonja stuff, and maybe I give it a chance,
Yeah. I mean, she's called the She Devil, so it can't be that
brutal.
Bad.
I mean, hell, even just looking at Red Sonja Age of Chaos, it's brutal.
Oh yeah.
But as far as Red Sonja goes, I think between Vampirella and like Red Sonja, Dynamite's got like 5 titles for each character.
Oh yeah.
They've got a lot for those ones.
Yeah. I mean, there's like Red Sonja Vampirella, there's Vampirella something, some subtitle, there's a Red Sonja main series, and there's Red Sonja Age of Chaos, Red Sonja this, which isn't bad. I mean, there's a reason for it. Just real quick, I guess I'll let you know about Vampirella by Christopher Priest. It's not
issue 7 just dropped.
Not at all what I was expecting. I've only read about 3 issues.
Oh, really?
Man, it's so much different than what I expected. Vampirella's going to like a therapist.
What?
Yeah, she's sort of telling him about her life and what's going on, and he's basically telling her she's full of shit. He's like, there's no such thing as vampires or creatures from alien planets who have vampire abilities. He's like, you're making all this stuff up. And she's like, well, maybe. She's talking about chicks she hooked up with. It's so much different than what I expected. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. And I'm probably really looking at it from a basic level just because I've been trying to dive into as much Dynamite as I can this week. But it's been different, man. It's been interesting. So I got to check out Red Sonja as well. I'm on the same page as you.
All right, I'm going to read some Vampirella too. So next time we do our Dynamite show, I'll be completely caught up on Vampirella, at least the one by Christopher Priest.
Yeah.
And I'll do some digging on Red Sonja too. But dude, that's awesome. It's so fun because like it's like you were saying with Betty Page. It's like Betty Page, and you go, who wants, like you said, who wants to read about Betty Page? And you start reading it and you go, this is not what I was expecting.
No.
And so I love that Dynamite's letting these creators just sort of run wild with these IPs that have been around for a long time and have a very, rich history, and they're just giving them the reins and telling them, here, go have fun. Like, go play in our sandbox.
Well, that's the thing is I was looking into some Vampirella stuff on Amazon, and they had these Master Series volumes, and I was looking at Vampirella Master Series Volume 1 by Grant Morrison, Mark Millar. I was like, what? I had no idea these dudes had written Vampirella. Warren Ellis, Amanda Connor, all these huge names that we're super familiar with now that had done, these characters, that had worked on these characters in the past. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of history and, a lot of well-known names that, played a part in keeping the legacy going, I guess. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, one of the other ones I'm actually pretty excited about, especially after you were telling me about Betty Page and how it's completely different than what you're expecting, is Dynamite's got some Elvira stuff too. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Yeah. And I grew up watching Elvira, and the spooky shows. Like, that's great. I love that kind of stuff. And so I'm interested to see that one too. That one I'm wondering if it's, because like you said, I was like, Elvira, like, how you gonna write but if it's like Betty Page where it's like completely different, and then I'm really interested to see what that's all about.
Yeah. I think Kiss Zombies comes out this Wednesday as well, number 3.
Yes,
what that's about. But
I read issue 1.
Okay.
Of Kiss Zombies. I did read issue 1. It was fun. It was just a fun comic. Is it game changing? Does it have a deep story to it? No, not at all. But is it fun? Hell yes. It's a fun ride. It's basically a zombie apocalypse happens, and these people team up with Kiss to take on zombies. I mean, what more could you want? What more could you want?
If there ever is a zombie apocalypse, someone's gonna have to team up with Kiss when you come down to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying the crap out of this Dynamite exploration. It's been fun, man.
Yeah, fun. I am so thankful that we reached out and Vincent was cool enough to let us kind of partner up with them and do this. This is epic. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and hopefully you guys, if some of you guys like Tom the Fish, well aware of Dynamite, but some of you guys maybe that weren't aware of Dynamite, hopefully you guys go out and start picking up some books too based on our recommendations, and you guys get to explore a whole new universe that maybe you knew nothing about. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we do have a couple other things we want to touch base on tonight. So moving on from Dynamite, as much fun as that is, I can't wait to discuss it more. We do have some breaking news. Well, not really breaking. The news already happened. Probably most of you guys are already fully aware. But just in case, wanted to kind of announce on our channel as well what's going on in case maybe people weren't aware and you were living in a underground somewhere. But Near Mint Comics, so huge shout out to Omar and Near Mint Comics, because they were the ones that actually received word from Marvel, and they were the ones that actually broke the news. I know Gem Mint threw his up after Near Mint, announced as well. So if you guys follow either of those channels, you're probably already aware. Or if you're in any of the Facebook Omni groups, they're on there as well. But Marvel is just recently announced, or let Omar, I should say, announce 15 upcoming they're releasing in 2020. That being said, stay tuned to Near Mint Condition for tomorrow, because apparently Omar is dropping another video tomorrow where he's going to be announcing Marvel Omnibus reprints that are getting announced. So I'm hoping for a Fantastic Four by Hickman.
Yep, me too.
I really want that Fantastic Four. So fingers crossed on that one. A lot of people seem to think it's probably going to be Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 and 3, especially since they just announced Uncanny X-Men Volume 4. But we're going to dive into this, and then maybe towards the end, if you guys want to jump in with us, we can all kind of discuss what we hope the reprints are and things like that. So thank you, Omar. We have Venomnibus Volume 3, Thanos, The Infinity Saga, War of Realms, Excalibur Omnibus. That one's going to be fun. I am excited to read Excalibur. Moon Knight Omnibus. That one is at the top of my list. The one I am most excited about. Really happy about the Moon Knight one. I don't care what run they choose to do, but I do hope that they choose to go with the Doug Munch stuff, like the original Moon Knight, you know, Werewolf by Night 32, all the way up through his initial run. It's covered right now in 3 epic collections. You condense those into one nice thick omnibus. So I'm really hoping that it's the original stuff. Then you also have Marvel Horror Lives Again. Apparently the last horror one that they dropped did really well for them. So now they're releasing Marvel Horror Lives Again. Incredible Hulk by Peter David, Volume 2.
That was fast.
So especially since Volume 1. Then again, though, man, it's a run that people have been clamoring for, so it makes sense. Yeah. Savage Sword of Conan, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, Volume 4. Infinity Crusade Omnibus. Conan the Barbarian, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, Volume 5. Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates. That seems a little fast for me. I don't know what everybody else's opinion on that one is.
Cates is hot.
Kull Omnibus, Kull, sort of very similar to Conan. Another one I'm pretty stoked about, Thunderbolts Omnibus. Sounds like it's going to be the Kurt Busiek stuff, so I'm super excited about that. New Mutants Omnibus. I'm assuming it's going to be the stuff that like art by Bill Sienkiewicz, where it has like the Demon Bear saga and all that jazz. And then one people have been waiting for at least 3 or 4 years for, Uncanny X-Men Volume 4.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been, especially with the end of Volume 3, people that collect the Uncanny X-Men omnibuses have all said, I've only read Volumes 1 and 2, enjoyed the hell out of both of them, but people say Volume 3 is probably their favorite, and so I know a lot of people have been waiting for that Volume 4 to finally drop. So that is what was announced earlier this week, and Marvel is not known for canceling stuff, so I think it's a pretty safe bet that everything that gets announced will be released.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about that stuff.
Solid list.
Very solid list. Also in news, I don't know, Mike, did you see the article about this with IDW?
No, I did see your note, but I didn't see the article.
So there was an article that came out, and it's actually kind of breaking. It's kind of big news, I guess you could say, in a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff. A lot of people were kind of concerned about the future, but IDW recently announced that they lost in publishing. They lost $800,000 in 2019. And if you look at all of what they do, because IDW has like IDW Media, so they do like their shows that they're doing now, like V Wars on Netflix. They're going to be launching Lock and Key next month. They've got all this stuff going on, and they ended up losing, I think it was like $25 million in 2019 is what they lost. $25 million between all their board games, the comics, the collected editions, the TV shows, everything. They lost a ton of money, and apparently they also lost a ton of money in 2018.
Wow.
And the president came out and said that it was kind of to be expected for what they were doing. It's not a shock to them, I guess, which, okay, it would have been a shock to me. But they're really hoping right now that Lock and Key sort of brings them back into the fold. So they really want to do well with Lock and Key, especially on Netflix. I think a lot of the money gets lost, obviously, on creating TV shows. So if you guys are fans of IDW and are fans of what IDW does, I would strongly recommend making sure that you are supporting them on the various channels. So like V Wars is out on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Lock and Key is coming out for sure next month on Netflix, which I think everybody's excited for.
Couple weeks.
Let's all go binge the hell out of Lock and Key. If you don't already own the master editions of Lock and Key, I have them. They're gorgeous. I strongly suggest buying those as well. They're super cheap too. They're actually not even that expensive.
Yeah.
But they're gorgeous books, wonderful story. If you've never read Lock and Key, what are you waiting for? And I really hope it does well, because IDW has so many amazing IPs that I don't want to see them go belly up or whatever. You know, like I'm kind of concerned for IDW. It's concerning.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That'd be crazy. What would happen to TMNT? I'm sure they'd migrate somewhere.
TMNT, Transformers, G.I. Joe,
Ghostbusters,
Micronauts. What else do they have?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters. Oh, yeah, they're doing Ghostbusters Year 1 right now. If you're a fan of that, go grab Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Year 1 just dropped. Dan Schoening, Eric Burnham, one of my favorite tag teams in Marvel. It's so good. Tom, I agree with you. TF is great. TMNT is amazing. I also strongly recommend Ghostbusters. If you've never checked out Ghostbusters, dude, it's so good. So good. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. So yeah, go support IDW. They need us now more than ever. So let's support the hell out of them the best we can, especially when Lock and Key drops.
You got Star Trek comics coming out.
Yes.
All the Picard fans. It looks like they're projecting profitability in 2021, though.
Correct, which is still a whole nother year away. But that's only if Lock and Key does good. If Lock and Key does not do well, they're not going to be profitable.
So this is interesting. I see IDW's Star Wars Adventures: The Clone Wars to release weekly in April 2020. How does that work? You know,
because Marvel's got Disney. Marvel has it. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's why I'm kind of worried about is that I feel like maybe I don't know. I'm not IDW, but I almost feel like IDW has purchased like so many amazing, but so many IPs that like, is that why they're partly, I'm sure it's probably the TV shows, but still, like, does that have something to do with the publishing aspect? Why you lost $800,000 is because you're shelling out money for these IPs.
Right.
They've got a crap ton of them.
Yeah,
so
I wonder what's been costing them the most.
From a publishing standpoint, I'm going to guess Ninja Turtles and Transformers from a publishing standpoint.
So it looks like the
maybe
publishing part. It looks like publishing lost 5.2 million of the 26.4. So
sorry, fourth quarter was the 800,000.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's where that number came from. It was fourth quarter, not for the year. Fourth quarter, they lost the 800,000.
Yeah, so I guess they are hoping that the Netflix adaptations become big hits and they can get multiple seasons and keep the money flowing based on these initial massive investments, getting the shows up and running. Makes sense.
Yep.
It looks like they got V Wars, October Faction. Cool.
V Wars actually sounds pretty dope. It's vampires. V Wars actually sounded like it might be kind of cool. So,
right. They've had Winona Earp going for 4 seasons now. It looks like
I didn't realize that was IDW. That is a fun show. Was it you that I was trying to sell on a while
Yeah,
back?
yeah.
Dude, that is a
I think
fun show.
I watched a couple episodes. Wasn't too bad. I just, you know how I am with those TV shows.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm so far behind. I think I only watched all of season 1, maybe season 2. I don't remember now, but it's a fun show. I just don't have time to watch TV. I wish I did. I just don't.
Right.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of what we had to cover as far as news goes. We kind of wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. And once again, stay tuned to Omar's channel. Tomorrow, he's going to be announcing the reprints. So we'll announce probably a week later because that's when we do things on our live show. So we're not the news breaking team, but we like to repeat the news.
Yeah.
We like to Google stuff and then tell you the news that you probably already know.
Yeah, we watch
you're
the
hearing
video.
it from us.
We watch the videos and then give you the cliff notes.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is fun.
But all of that being said, are you ready to jump into the fun?
Sure.
Your favorite part? How late do you want to go?
I'm good, man. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the good times rolling.
All right, cool. So that being said, we've got a handful of live viewers, which is awesome. We love it when you guys, especially it's late at night. I know on a Saturday, probably better things to do, I'm sure, but we appreciate it. We have been getting some questions though, so let's just jump in and start interacting with you guys. So let me back up here a little bit. We're going to touch on some stuff that I don't want anybody to feel like they were ignored. Brian Dickerson says that he really liked the James Bond books. This is when we were talking about Dynamite.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about those. Damn. I read I think I still do. Maybe they'll be part of a giveaway someday. The 2 first hardcovers that collected the first 2 story arcs Warren Ellis did. I know they're doing a sort of like an omnibus for his run as well. That's coming up soon. So that's pretty cool. A Warren Ellis James Bond omnibus from Dynamite. Yeah, I forgot about that. And they've had pretty good, again, creative teams on there. Warren Ellis did a few arcs. Andy Diggle, James, was it James? Is that his name? James Peterson, or am I going crazy? Same dude who did Airboy.
James Robinson.
Yep. He did it. He did an arc or 2. So I mean, they've had, seasoned folks working on these James Bond titles. I got the perfect opportunity to catch up now. Vincent, send us those James Bond books, man.
we'll have to email him.
Yeah.
Jarrett, any plans for future collabs with other comic channels like Comic Pop or Uncanny Omar? So we would love to be honest. We have not reached out really to anybody yet. I was actually debating on emailing Omar today. I kind of needed to talk to Mike though. So surprise, Mike, I'm going to email Omar, just FYI.
Sounds good. I have no issues with that at all.
So yeah, no, I like Omar quite a bit. He seems like a nice guy. I've chatted with him in the past via the Facebook groups and things like that. Yeah, I think it would be dope to do collabs. The problem is a lot of the people that we want to, not necessarily we want to, but a lot of the people that we would collab with, they're much larger channels than we are. So it's kind of one of those things where, I don't know, are they down to do it? Yes or no type thing.
I am very excited.
We're always down.
Yeah, I am very excited to speak with, I believe Thomas Judge is his name, who does the completely custom printed, oversized hardcover omnibuses. That'll be very fun. He's doing some pretty epic mapping projects now and dust jacket creating tutorials. So, I mean,
yeah. So for those of you guys that really follow us for our custom binds, because I think we do a lot of custom stuff. I am Thomas Judge. Is it I am or I am the? One of the two. It's either I am Thomas Judge or I am the Thomas Judge. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Go check him out. He's actually looking to build his channel too. So go check him out. He's across the pond. And so we asked him, like, hey, man, are you interested in ever coming on and us interviewing you and picking your brain about how you do these, massive, oversized printout omnibuses? Excuse me, like what is the cost factor, etc. We want to interview and pick your brain about it. And he said, sure. And then I discovered he's over in the UK. And I was like, oh, damn. timing wise, man, that's gonna be like 4 a.m. for you. Are you sure that you're okay with that? And this dude, he is so fucking cool. He said, yes, like just let me know, like so I can plan it ahead of time. And he goes, I'll make it work. He goes, I get it. That's when you guys record. Like, it's fine. He goes, I'll make it work. So this dude's gonna jump on with us at like 4 a.m. his time to pick his brain about custom binds. So we need to get that scheduled. We are gonna have him on. We are gonna have Rusty Surfer, aka Alex, from Four Guys in a Comic fame, from our old podcast. Rusty's going to come on and join us for an episode. TV. Yes, Pop Nerd TV. He's going to come on and join us, and we're going to pick his brain about stuff and kind of interview him. We're going to flip the tables and interview him. We know most of the answers already, but you guys don't, so it'll be fun to hear. He's going to be a fun one to do. We actually have some other ideas in the works, but those ones are confirmed for people that we will have on the show. But yeah, we definitely want to reach out to some of these other channels and see if they would be interested in jumping on. I think it would be great if we could do anybody and everybody. I think it would be awesome to talk with. So
no, I agree.
So thanks for the question, Jared. I greatly appreciate it. The issues, most of the ID series are not their IP. Yep, that's
true. It's true.
Let's see. Jarrett. Oh no, that'd be terrible. I was just getting into IDW. I hope it's not. IDW is great, man. All right, so this is a loaded question for us. What is Locke and Key about? I've never heard about it before the Netflix release news. Oh, wow. Jarrett, hold on to your butt. So I'll start. You can jump in.
Yeah.
Locke and Key is one of my favorite books of all time. It's probably like in my top 3 favorite series ever, to be honest with you. It ran for about, I think if I remember, it's 54 issues, 55 issues, something like that. I think it's 54. But anyway, it ran for a while. It's written by Joe Hill, who, if you don't know, is actually Stephen King's son. And the art is by, I'm going to mess up his name. Is it Gabriel Rodriguez? Is that his name?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm good. My memory is good. The art is by Gabriel Rodriguez, and they teamed up and created this world. It's literally a world that they created, and it's amazing stuff. So without spoiling anything, without giving anything away, long story short, the Locke family has this house that they've inherited. It's like a mom and her kids. And the kids range in age from like 9 or 10 to like 18 or just before 18. And they go to this house and they find these keys, and each key, it's like a skeleton key, but they have like different designs and stuff on them. It's really cool and amazing looking. The art is fantastic throughout. But each key has a different ability. So you literally, and I'm sure you've seen it in the Netflix trailer, they showed it. You take the key, plug it in, and this keyhole opens on the back of your neck magically, and then you can open it up, right? And then it had the one that they showed in the Netflix trailer where the kid became a ghost. There's like the ghost key. He becomes a ghost and he's flying around and stuff. There's the one where you can, I can't remember the name of it now. It's been a couple of years. I'm actually going to reread everything prior to the show coming out because we're going to do some fun Lock and Key stuff on our channel. You open up your head and you can input and take out memories and shit. There's like 6 different keys. Is that right? God, It's been a few years.
There's way more. There's like, I'm looking at the list now because I forgot how many there were. There's over a dozen keys.
Is there really? Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. There's the gender key, ghost key.
Key. The gender key. Yes. Gender key is self-explanatory. You switches your gender. But ultimately, then there's also like the Omega key. And that one is sort of the big bad, I guess you could say. That key brings in and introduces sort of the big bad to the series. And there's a lot of family torment. There's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of family history. There's a lot of craziness that ensues. There's a lot of fun that happens as well. And it's like the mom has no clue because like once you turn, I think it's 18, like you can't see this stuff or partake in it. Like it's like you lose. It's only for kids, right? And there's hauntings, and it's so good, dude. I don't, if I say any more, I'm going to spoil shit, and I don't want to say anything else, but it is so good. I do recommend at least becoming highly familiar with it, reading a few issues of it at least. Like the master collected editions are 3 books that collect the whole story, minus the new stuff that's recently dropped. Otherwise, you can get them like in 6 trade paperbacks, things like that. You can collect them a variety of ways. But I would suggest at least reading the first couple trades, because I have a feeling the first season they're not going to cover all 50-something issues. I have a feeling the first season's only going to cover the first 2 trades, probably, if I had to guess. The first 2 trades. So I would strongly suggest at least reading the first 2 trades prior to the start of the show. But that's my take. Mike, go. What's yours?
I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, there's not much else I can say that's different than that. From what I've seen in the trailer, it looks like the show is sticking very close to the comics. It looks like they're going to do them absolute justice. Again, and that's just based off of a trailer. I already have a lot of faith in the show, just based on, again, that seeing the head key, the ghost key. And it's cool that they were able to show that stuff and be like, I mean, I'm hoping that's not, they didn't show their hands right away. Obviously there's a lot more that happens, to the story, and I'm super excited to see it. And like you said, that wherever they shot this, like they got the cave that looks pretty much identical to what's in the comic books.
I wonder, well, because in the deluxe, in the master editions, there's like the special photo references and like things like that you can show where Gabriel drew his inspiration from for drawing these caves and whatever else. And they showed the real life picture compared to what Gabriel drew. Well, in the trailer, they showed that same thing and it looked almost identical to it. So I was like, I started geeking out. I go, dude, do you think that they like went to the actual location and like filmed that shot for the cave? Because that would be incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited. February 7th, I'm probably going to watch that all in a day or two. I also found out my trip to Brazil is now delayed, so there's nothing stopping me. There's nothing stopping me from just binging the crap.
When did you get delayed to?
April. So,
all right, that's after Comic-Con, so we're good.
Still safe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was my first thought, too.
Yeah, no, we're still good then.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's Locke and Key in a nutshell, man. It's so incredibly good. Amazing. I honestly can tell you, maybe not everybody loved the series as much as I did when I read it, but I have never met someone that has read it and said I didn't like it. I've never met anyone that has ever said I didn't like it.
Yeah. No, that's true.
So that's saying a lot for a story.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe
most people love it, but
yeah, maybe wait for the show if you enjoy the first season and you want to find out what happens to the end of the series. Just pick up the master editions and get, because I mean, even with the show, Gabriel Rodriguez's artwork is so unique and so stylized. It feels different than the show will, I'm sure. So
oh yeah, very much so. Actually, the one complaint that I've heard from people is that they said that the show felt almost like R.L. Stine.
Yeah.
They said it kind of felt almost a little too kiddie-ish. And I could see that at first, how it did feel that way. But then towards the end, I was like, I don't think so. Like,
yeah.
I think it kind of felt that way in the beginning. But then as they get a little bit darker and more into stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm not so sure. Like, I don't know. I'm interested to find out for sure, though. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Me and Mike are going to read everything, and we're going to do the show. We're going to do a live show all about Locke and Key. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that stuff. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Tom the Fish. Omar's got them thick connections with Marvel.
Yeah.
He does. Hopefully maybe not as thick as Omar. Hopefully we can get some thin connections with Marvel, though. We're in talks, so we'll see. But yeah, no, Omar's definitely got the hookup at Marvel, and he's able to provide all that info, which is great because then we can help relay it and spread the word.
Yeah.
Jarrett, love the Batgirl custom bind, Mike.
Me too.
What are the pros and cons of different available binding methods?
Well, I've only dealt with DFAB. I know, Matt, you have some oversewn books from
Yes,
recent, so
sir.
you can speak more to the differences there, having physically experienced them.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. It depends on the bindery and sort of what they prefer. DFAB is the most common, I would say, probably is DFAB. But a lot of binderies and things that I've read had said that the downfall to DFAB is when you utilize glossy pages. If you utilize glossy pages, they tend to fall apart over time. They tend to come loose from the spine and kind of they don't stick as well with glossy. So when you have glossy pages, then it's recommended to do the oversewn binding, and that's where they actually sew it through the threads of the book. And all my custom binds have always been DFAB up until recently. And I'll actually give you guys a sneak peek. I'm going to be creating a video later on, but it'll be a quick video, but I'll give you guys actually a sneak peek tonight of this. I'm so jazzed. Mike hasn't even fully seen these yet.
No,
I'm so excited. But I got some Hitman custom bind omnibuses that I bought through a Facebook group, and they were just regular buckram cloth, whatever. So I want to get some dust jackets made, which is I'll show you guys. But those ones are all oversewn, and I'm 99% sure that those were bound by Herring and Robinson in California, because Herring and Robinson, their preferred method of binding books is going to be the oversewn method. The reason being is because it holds together longer. You don't have to worry about glue falling apart or anything like that. Like the oversewn is built to last. The issue with oversewn is that you can get a little bit of gutter loss, but not very much. Like in my Hitman books, I was impressed at how well it looks. Like the gutter, like it's amazing, and it lays perfectly flat. I have no issues with it. It's actually been a really enjoyable read. I absolutely adore the shit out of it. So I'm actually really excited. I just sent in 3 volumes to get bound by Herring and Robinson. I sent them in yesterday, so hopefully in about 2 months I'll get those back, and I can show you guys because those will be oversewn as well. So oversewn does have a little bit, but they're made to last, whereas the glue, you have less gutter loss. It's a little more common for some books, but you don't want to use it on glossy pages. And then you have hand sewn, which usually costs more money because it's literally somebody going through with a needle and thread and sewing like this. And while I'm sure it's a lovely, lovely book to have, you got to have a lot of love for somebody. I mean, you got to pay somebody to sit there and do this. Like that's a lot, you know? Yeah. So, but that's kind of some of the pros and cons of the different available binding methods. And if you go onto like Herring and Robinson's website or Hausch and Bindery's website, it'll go into much greater detail and explain each step as well. So you can kind of not necessarily take my word for it, but you can kind of go onto their websites and read about it as well. Yeah. So yeah, actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me grab these Hitmans.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, even with DFAB so far, I mean, I haven't had my books for too long, but I think 5 years in, it's been okay so far. I haven't had any books come apart on me or anything like that. Damn, there they are.
All right, so like I said, I will be doing a video later on, but maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I got stuff to do, but I'm gonna do a video because I'm beyond excited. These are not in the right order. Crap. Hang on. All right. So if I hold them up, hopefully this is the correct view for you guys. So that right there, let me pull it back a little bit. There we go. That's the connecting spine that Mike did for my Hitman 3-volume set. It turned out so fucking good. I'm beyond stoked. So now we'll dive into a little bit more detail. So here is the cover for Hitman Volume 1. Really love it. As Mike and I are the same way. We don't like a lot of text on our dust jackets. We'd rather the art speak for itself.
Yeah.
But it does have the nice title page and whatnot up here. Then we have the spine, which you guys have seen, and then we have the back, which is by far one of the most classic Hitman covers ever. And it's been used on the trade paperbacks and things like that. But me and him were debating. He goes, because he used it, and I was like, yes, I'm so glad you used it because I wanted it, but I didn't want to say I wanted it because it's been overused. And he was like, well, should I put it on the back? Or I put it on the back. Should I put it on the front? And I go, no, leave it on the back. Like, let's be different. So we were being a little bit different on it. And then there is
Night Fist.
Night Fist. You gotta love some Night Fist. If you guys have never read Hitman, holy shit, is it fun?
Oh god.
And then there's just the Tommy there, Tommy Monahan, and then all right. So here's volume 2. So there's the front cover for volume 2. About the club of Baby Seal.
Yep. I love
and Mike is very, and when Mike, just so you guys know, when Mike designs dust jackets, he is very particular. Like, he looks for images that come from the volume that is in that book. It's not just random images. Like, he tries to find images that coincide with the volume of the book. So that's pretty sweet. And then the spine, obviously, you guys have seen. And then there's the back cover.
Tommy getting into it again.
Yes, sir. And then we have, this is a really cool dust jacket flap. I really like what he did. So here's the front flap. And then here's the back flap. So it's Tommy, which is split in half, but it's really cool. I really love that flap too.
Glad that turned out nice.
Dude, you have no idea. And like the quality of how I can't wait for you to like check this out. When you guys come down in March, I got to show you these booster golds and these Hitmans. And I don't know if I'll have any other DJs printed by then. You know what? Fuck it. Maybe I will. I still need to get that Wonder Woman DJ printed in that East to West one too.
I mean, at this point, I might get my next 14 done there and just pick them up in March because
there you go, dude. They print them quick because all they're doing is printing them. So I got mine in 3 days because they're also an hour away from me. But
sure.
And then we have volume 3. Once again, nice Hitman logo, and then you got Tommy shooting up a T-Rex. Spine, which you guys have seen, and then you have the back, which is I believe was the final issue.
Closing time.
Of closing time. So, and then what I'm about to show you guys is probably my all-time favorite dust jacket flaps. I am so freaking excited about this. I absolutely love it. So you got 6-pack.
Goddamn 6-pack.
You have the 6-pack. So you have a Tommy split face, a 6-pack split face, and then you got some Night Fist.
Unfortunately, no Bator. Bator.
I was looking for a Bator, and I was like, nah, there's no Bator.
It's tough, man. It was tough to find artwork for Bator.
Well, I can imagine. Oh, dude, I'm so fucking excited. You have no idea. And Hitman was a series that I actually tried reading. So for those that don't know, really quick background on Hitman. Hitman was a series that I tried reading digitally a while back. Had a hard time reading it. I thought it was okay. It was whatever. It didn't really click with me though. I started reading it more physically and I loved it. John McCrae, I think it's McCrae. John McCrae's artwork is very stylized. It's very different. And I don't feel like it transfers well to a digital format, which is why I wasn't that big of a fan of it digitally. However, that being said, when it gets transferred over to physical and like you have it in your hands and you're flipping, it's so much better. Oh my God, I love it. So Hitman is Tommy Monahan. It's Garth Ennis, John McCrae creation. And Hitman is just sort of like your low man hitman. Like he's a hitman. Like he gets paid to kill people, but only bad people. He will not kill good people. He will only kill the bad, sort of like Evil Ernie.
Yeah.
But he's got superpowers. He has X-ray vision and telepathy, and he got them via some. He says that they never like go into deep detail yet, but they've said they got him from like some alien attack or whatever. And so he always wears sunglasses because his eyes are fucked up because of the X-ray vision and stuff. And it's pretty cool. So he has like these superpowers and things, and he hangs out in Noonan's bar, which is basically a bar for hitmen. And it's think of it sort of like Deadpool, how in the Deadpool movies Wade was hanging out in like the bar for the different hitmen and stuff. It's basically that for Noonan's bar.
Yeah.
And so everybody there's a hitman, and everybody there's different characters. And Six Pack is one of the locals there. He's one of the regulars at the bar. And holy crap, does he make the story funny when he appears. Everything with Six Pack is hilarious. He has like, he's basically just drunk all the time. And he's like so drunk that he just imagines and hallucinates like different like scenarios. He'll talk about how he was fighting with the Justice League, and they were taking out like 6,000 dark sides and his minions, and they're like, what are you fucking talking about? And he's like, you should have seen it, I was there. But he's just drunk and he's just hallucinating shit. Or is he? And it's so funny.
Then you read Six Pack and Dog Welder.
Yes.
Turns out he's not hallucinating all of it.
Yes. And then the Demon is another Garth Ennis, John McCrae book. Obviously, they didn't invent the Demon. That would be Mr. Kirby. But they took it and ran with it. And Tommy Monahan, Hitman, makes an appearance in the Demon series, too. So I haven't got to read the Demon series yet. I actually just bought trade paperback volume 1. I'm really excited. Mike actually has the Demon custom bound.
Great. It's fantastic.
So, so that's. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, oddly enough, it's called the Demon Hell's Hitman. So not too far off.
Yep. And so that's some amazing stuff. Just real quick, because we were talking about DJs, I'm going to throw this one up here. Amazing Asian, Mr. Murley. What does it cost to have DJs printed? For Haushin, if you go the way that I go, it costs $15 a dust jacket to be printed, and then $7 for shipping, and then whatever taxes are. So for these three, I just had them printed. It was $45 plus $7 shipping plus tax. I think it was like $55 for 3 dust jackets. But the beauty of it is that these are printed on like actual like laminate paper, like a real dust jacket, like it's real dust jacket quality. Because I've gone to Staples and I've had them print dust jackets in the past, and it was just like on a thick card stock almost. It wasn't the same quality, and I think I paid $11 or $12 or something like that to have them print those. And so it's almost the same. It's almost the same price, but not as good a quality. So, and that's what I pay, but not everybody wants to pay shipping and handling and things like that. So Mike, what do you pay for dust jackets?
I mean, I just go to Staples. So, that same thing, $12, $13, but it's like you said, it's not the greatest. It doesn't feel like a dust jacket. And I've noticed some of mine will like literally the color will scratch off, shit like that.
Really?
So, yeah. I'm not, ever since my last batch, I'm done with Staples. If I don't do my next batch at Haushin, I'm gonna have to find a place locally that does something similar. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, Haushin does theirs, and I love it, man. And I'm only an hour away from him, so I'll upload the files to him on a Monday, and I'll have my dust jackets in hand by like Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Back to questions. Jarrett. Yeah, Thomas Judge is who actually got me into the idea of custom binding. Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Really cool projects. Definitely excited to see him on. Yeah, man. We're super stoked to have him. I spoke with him a little bit via email. A really cool guy. So
yeah, he takes it to the next level with the custom printing.
Any news on the newest custom Swamp Thing bind you mentioned in your custom Swamp Thing vid? No, there's no news yet. Well, kind of news, I guess. I just added to it. I just got the Brian K. Vaughan run, the 2 trade paperbacks, which primarily focus on Swamp Thing's daughter. So I just got those. And then I'm going to bind those into the Mark Millar, Grant Morrison trade paperbacks and kind of create a thing. Because right now they're all, if I were to just bind them separately, they'd all be fairly thin. So I'm just going to combine them all into one and just sort of have like a Swamp Thing anthology book, I guess, which I thought would be pretty cool. So I haven't done anything more with it yet, aside from acquiring the Brian K. Vaughan books. But that is to come. I actually created a list and sent it to Mike. I go, here's my goal for 2020 of custom binds I want done. So my next set is actually going to be a 3-volume impulse bind.
Nice.
And so hopefully we'll have that back soon.
I do have maybe I can do a quick video on my Swamp Thing custom binds, and we can compare them to yours once you get yours done, because I just bound the Grant Morrison, Mark Millar stuff.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. Got a little connecting spine on there.
Nice spine work, Mike.
Sure. Thank you. I try.
Thoughts on Morbius being in the MCU, retroactively making Venom canon as well? Does Morbius itself look good to either of you?
Doesn't look bad to me. I mean, it's just been a trailer. I didn't hate it. We'll see. I'm open-minded.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm open-minded to all these movies.
The trailer was very short. Like, it didn't really give us a lot. Right. It was just sort of more of a, I don't know, like a brief origin story, and then like a 2-second look at what Morbius looks like or whatever. So overall, I'm excited. I like the character of Morbius. I really do. I think it's a cool character, but I am concerned of like, how is Michael Morbius going to carry an entire movie?
Yeah.
I was also concerned, or not concerned, but more wondering, because Morbius is getting an omnibus release as well. And while I think that's pretty cool, it's like,
yeah,
like there's other things out there that I know people want. Like, I just don't foresee that being a hot seller. But then again, what the hell do I know?
Well, thank God they at least did the Moon Knight, so that way can't be completely mad at it. It's like, if Morbius is getting an omnibus, but Moon Knight isn't, come on, guys.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the Moon Knight. But the problem is that they didn't give Omar the contents of these omnibuses, so we have no idea what. I mean, obviously, like Peter Hulk's Incredible Hulk Volume 2. Okay, we know what that is.
Sure.
Conan Volume 4, like we know what those are. X-Men Volume 4, we know what but like we don't know what Moon Knight is. It just says Moon Knight Omnibus Volume 1.
Or Thunderbolts. All right. Was it like Thunderbolts Classic, or he didn't?
I don't remember. I think it was just Thunderbolts. Maybe it was Thunderbolts Classic, but I think it was just Thunderbolts. Like, we don't know what the contents are.
Yeah,
it could be the Houston run for Moon Knight.
Yeah,
it could be the more modern stuff, which is good. I'll buy no matter what. But is it going to be that, or is it going to be the classic stuff with Sienkiewicz's art, which I love?
I hope so.
So
I hope so. I've got all the other stuff in custom binds, so all I'm looking for is that old stuff. Give me that old content.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what Morbius is like. Yeah. Morbius looks really bad, in my opinion. It looks like the next Fantastic Four. Fan Four Stick. Fan Four Stick. Yeah, that movie was rough. Even my wife was like, "What the hell's this?" And she's not like, she likes like the movies, but doesn't know anything about any like of the characters at all. And even she went, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it. Thanks. Oh, he wants to see the comparison of Swamp Thing.
For sure, yeah.
Yes, the power of YouTube's recommended page. That's why we need the tags, Mike, so we can start popping up in recommended pages. Is a perplexing yet powerful beast. His Hulk Omnibus popped up there randomly, and I've been trying to prep a bind since then. Oh shit, that's awesome. He's talking about Thomas Judge.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to have him on. I feel really bad that he has to do it at 4 a.m, but he said he's more than willing. So I'm pretty jazzed for that.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to pick his brain and like what is the cost to do? I mean, obviously he's in a different country, cost is gonna be different, but just ballpark, what is the cost to do something like that? I think I'm going to start with Marvel's T2 Judgment Day adaptation alongside Malibu's Cybernetic Dawn and Nuclear Twilight. I'm assuming you're referring to binding. Because I'm like, I think he's referring to binding to his first binds.
Okay, cool. Nice.
If I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm assuming you're referring to your first binds.
Right. That's pretty sweet. It's always exciting. Doing your first bind's always exciting.
Yeah, speaking of, I just got my singles are actually coming in the mail for this. I'm gonna be binding. It's gonna be more of a companion custom bind to my Ghost Rider stuff that I'm doing, but it's the Johnny Blaze, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. It's called Ghost Rider and Blaze. Or Rider and Blaze or something like that. But I just got those in. I bought the whole run off of eBay for like $20, $15 actually. It was like 24 issues for $15.
Wow.
They're actually on their way right now. Once they get here, they're all singles, so I'm gonna be prepping those.
Very fun.
And then and then we'll send those in eventually and get those done. I've got so much stuff to bind this year. I told Mike I've got at least minimum of 20 binds I want to get done this year.
It's wild, man.
So a minimum of 20. So I was like, I hope you're up for making some dust jackets because they're all going to need it.
Always.
But then I sit here and promote his work, and I don't know. You should be checking the email, man, because people always ask me. All right, just making sure.
I made a couple this week.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I made an Age of Apocalypse one, and that War of Kings one is still up in the air. Hopefully I can work.
Are these like off recommendations? Like people see me posting stuff, and then they're like, "Hey, how do I get a hold of you?"
It must be the gentleman named Martin reached out to me about Age of Apocalypse. I don't know if he's someone you've been talking to, Martin Rodriguez, but.
I don't know. There's a lot of people. Like sometimes I'll just post that thing and I'll just say, "Here's our email. Whoever's interested." So I don't know, but well, that's cool. See, look at that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
Word of mouth, getting that man some money.
Yeah, every little bit counts. But
so he was referring to his first bind.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah,
20 binds for 20. Mike's like 20. I'm doing like 60.
No.
He does 20. He does 20 a batch. I do like 3 a batch. He does like 20 a batch.
Yeah, I think I'm picking up like 12 or 13 this week.
See, that's what I'm saying. I do 3 at a time, like maybe 4 if I'm lucky, just because I'm not a baller like this guy.
Oh, I'm not either, man. Believe me, it's gonna eat up the whole budget for the year. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. That what the price is gonna come out for all those dust jackets. Boy, I hope Hoshin does a bulk.
Well, the good news is they don't charge the $7 shipping for each individual one. They do ship them all in a thing, and how they ship them is pretty cool. They take a thick cardboard box like what IST ships in, and they like just don't open it, like it's smashed down, and then they wrap it in brown paper and tape it shut so that way nothing can get to it, and then they put that inside a flattened box and then tape the shit out of the box.
Wow. And
then they ship it out. So they know their stuff, man.
Yeah, that's hardcore. Yeah, that's not going to get damaged. Sweet. I love that.
So yeah, nope, it's awesome. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll have to get at least some printed, at least a few.
Yeah, it'll be.
Why not?
It'll be dope. But
all right, but yeah, man, it's a good time.
It's late for you.
It's getting late. It's turning into the witching hours
The
coming
witching
up.
hour. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight and hanging out with us the last hour and a half or so. We'll do this again next week, like we always do. Maybe next week we'll have Rusty on with us. Who knows? But someone said they're getting Secret 6 done soon.
Nice, great series.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do that for a while. Very nice choice. I'm jealous. I'll do the dust jackets. I'd love to.
Oh, he just jumped on. Well, the good news is that you can go back and watch the replay. The first, just to kind of give you a rundown here, the first 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so, we're discussing everything Dynamite comics. And then after that, we discussed the Marvel Omnibus news that was announced, some IDW news that was announced, and then we just jumped into questions. So,
yep,
that's the show in a nutshell. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing this again next week. Like I said, we might have Rusty on. Who knows? We'll be firming up a time with Thomas Judd to get my work schedule figured out, and then since good news for us, Mike's not going to Brazil yet, so that means we can do more live shows prior to April.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be on hiatus for a minute. So yeah, more stuff to come. But hopefully you guys learned some stuff about Dynamite, saw some books that you guys like and look good and you guys want to check out, and keep us posted. We'll keep doing these Dynamite shows probably once a month and announce all the new releases and what we've been reading. And yeah, so
yep, a couple of weeks from now, Lock and Key.
Woo!
A lot to look
We're
forward
gonna do a
to.
Lock and Key live show too, so stay tuned for that one.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great night, and the power is yours.
You stay classy, internet.